Welcome, everyone. Welcome hold on. Welcome to the Bears and the Vikings. It's the first half is done. It's 7-6 in favor of Minnesota, but I am had some homework I had to do. It's a lot of work and some stuff like that. And now the game though is in the second half, ready to kick off, and I am ready to broadcast it. If anyone wants to watch, so we've got that going. Hey, Josh, what's going on, man? As I said in the Discord, I had a lot of homework to do and stuff, but I was finally able to do it, so I missed the first half, but I'm here for the second half. And it's taken back our Chicago out of the end zone, moving it past the 20, past the 25, past the 30, Patterson past the 40, past the 50, past the 40, past the 30. Cordarrelle Patterson is going to walk in for a Chicago touchdown. Cordarrelle Patterson, 105 yards. Cordarrelle Patterson took this kickoff when the Bears had scored the field goal earlier in the first half. 105 yards. What he did in Minnesota, and he gives the peace sign as his way in, a kickoff return for the touchdown. Chicago leads by 5. The extra point is good. They now lead by 6, 13-7 in favor of the Bears. What a return by Cordarrelle Patterson. And that's how the second half starts. A 105-yard return for the touchdown. Also, Josh, if you don't mind, man, if you don't mind, I would love if you just because I don't know if I'm watching broadcasting it. If you don't mind, I mean I'll do it, but if you don't mind, if you would post on the Discord this stream on stream updates. And also, it was great talking to you before, and that's where you reminded me with the NFL thing. I got to think of when we'll do the NFL favorite teams or whatever. But it was really great. Oh, thank you. It was really great talking to you the other day about hockey. We did the memes and football and everything. And, this is good to have this game on. Also, just this, I believe tomorrow is some soccer, but I don't think I'll stream it. But this Friday is going to be the play-in games, and coming up next week is going to be the official start of the MLS playoffs. So get ready for that. That'll be exciting. I may stream some of those play-in games on Friday. Not sure. Chicago kicked the ball back, and it landed into the end zone. As you watch here, the Bears bench going crazy. So Minnesota is going to have the ball at the 25, trailing for the first time in the game. 756 kickoff return yards this season for Cordarrelle Patterson, the most in the National Football League. Here is Cousins, fakes the handoff. Cousins throws out of bounds into the Chicago bench because he was rushed. He was looking for Kyle Rudolph, but that ball went nowhere close to him. It'll be second down. The last time he returned a kick for a touchdown was all the way back in 2013, or at least a kick that long when he was with the team, and I didn't even realize this till now. This is his former team. It's the team that drafted him, and he just burnt them with a 105-yard kickoff return. That'll be cool feelings there. The handoff is to Cook. Cook maybe gets one. It's third down. This Bears team, which started hot but have really come down to earth with some losses, are 5-4, trying to compete for that NFC wild card, which is very much in play. 6-4 would look really good for them, especially because as bad as Minnesota started this year, they've kind of moved their way up. Oh, wow. How was that game? Explain to me about that game, Josh, if you can. A win you did not deserve. Want to hear that one? Cousins throws over the middle, and he's got a receiver, Jefferson, who tripped at the 40. If he was cleanly caught it, he might have gone for a lot more than that. A 1-0 overtime win. Well, sometimes those wins feel good. Was it like did the ref call an offside? Did the ref not call an offside against you guys and that won you the game? Or was it just because it was a 1-0 overtime win? Or was it, some other conspiracy? 1st and 10 at the Minnesota 41 for Cousins and the Vikings. A touchdown and an extra point would put his team back up. Here's Cook. Goes up the middle, gets about 2, and then gets shelved. We got a power play in overtime for nothing. Oh. Too many men? What was the call? If you don't mind me asking. Also, can you believe that we only have a little more than a month and 3 quarters until just a month and a half until the NHL starts again. Tipped and almost intercepted by Jackson. That was a throw that got deflected by Gibson and almost was picked off by the Bears. A bad throw by Cousins, bad decision by Kirk Cousins. And now the Vikings, nearing midfield, have to deal with 3rd down again. They got a good play the last time. Interference. Oh. Did you get a point on the power play? Did you get an overtime game-winning assist or goal? Cousins in the shotgun. Vikings need 7. They've got to get to the Chicago 49. Cousins throws a screen. Loose, he found one of the receivers who got dropped down before he could get to the first down marker. Got about a yard after the line of scrimmage. And it looks like Minnesota will punt. And Khalil Mack was getting right into Kirk Cousins' kitchen right there. But he had a rush on the play as well. Are they going for it? No. No, they are punting. I saw Khalil Mack stand on his haunches. I thought that they were going for it because I didn't know if he played punt block. Nice. That's awesome. Here's Harris, fumbled it. Harris fumbled the ball. Harris went to return it. He went to return the ball at the 20 for the Bears. He got hit by his own teammate. He dropped the ball. Minnesota recovers at the Bear 20. Special teams is the story of this game. The Bear receiver muffed the punt, hit into his own teammate, and then the Vikings just pounced on it at the Bear 20. So the Vikings had Zimmer's going crazy on the Minnesota sideline. The Vikings had a bad turn of events, and the Bears couldn't have been in a better position. If they just gave up something bad now. A muffed punt, so a kickoff return for 105 yards for a touchdown for Chicago. The Bears make 2 defensive stops and then a muff punt. Here's Cousins for the end zone. Dropped it. Thielen, he was looking for Adam Thielen, and it was deflected at the last moment by a Bear in the back end. And if that comes cleanly to Adam Thielen, the Vikings will have would have had a chance to take the extra point to take the lead. Oh, and that wasn't even a deflection. He heard footsteps, but that was a straight drop. Straight drop, although there was some pressure with Fuller on Thielen. And that will make it 2nd and 10. But they took a shot, which was a real nice one. Field goal make it a 3-point game. A touchdown and an extra point would take it. Here's Cook spinning out of 2 tackles. Cook getting back to the line of scrimmage and then gained nothing. So it'll be 3rd and 10 from the 20. Vikings have to get to the Bear 10. Well, the thing here is that Cook lost about 5 yards but he was able to spin and get back to the line of scrimmage. Actually got a yard. They gave him a yard on that play. They've got a man in the slot. They've got Thielen on the left. Running back Cook outflanked. Here's Cousins over the middle looking for Rudolph. Rudolph looking for a penalty flag. There is none against Chicago. It's 4th down. Minnesota will probably go for the field goal here to cut the lead in half. That should have been a penalty, though, against the Bears. Rudolph was held on the arm. So they'll go here for a field goal by Daniel Bailey, the former Dallas Cowboy. It was 6 of 8 this season in field goals. His longest is 52. His first attempt in 2 games. Yeah, Giants destroyed him. So this would make it a 3-point game. The kick is up, and it is good. So the Vikings don't score the touchdown, which they thought they were gifted. But they recover a muffed punt and get a field goal. Chicago 13, Minnesota 10. I got to say, this is a very exciting game for 13-10. As I was saying again with the soccer, though, I don't know if I'll stream the soccer, but I will tell you I will definitely stream Thursday's game, Seattle versus Arizona. That's huge. That is going to be really interesting and important to watch.
That's just fine. The garage rate is real. Yeah, but I'm sure you'll probably pull some strings or something. But there's no strings. Here's the deal. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates. They win. The garage is straight. Oh, you guys also?
Still waiting, of course, for this to come back.
Patterson, just the spark Chicago needed. And again, he gets you from all parts of the field. Don't see a lot of 84s lining up in the backfield with the injury to David Montgomery. He's forced to carry the football. He's been on the receiving end. And then the spectacular 104-yard kick return to open up the second half down the sideline. As far as kick returns go, that's one of the easier ones. I mean, left with the whole last 30 yards. Over here. Where do you think this kickoff's going to go from there? And we were told, we were alerted to Patterson, like, they'll return it 9 yards deep in the end zone. I was about to say that. If you put it anywhere near him, he's bringing it out. Then you know they're giving him the green light. They have generated offense how they can. You're going to try to kick it through the end zone. You better make sure
10:50 left in the third. This kick will bounce to Patterson and to the end zone, and Patterson doesn't touch it. They'll go for a touchback, so no 105-yard return. Yeah, they show in 2013, in Week 2, Cordero Patterson returned a 105-yard kickoff return against Chicago for the Vikings, the team that drafted him that very year. Now, Cordero Patterson returns a 105-yarder 7 years after he did with Minnesota against Chicago, for Chicago against Minnesota. Kind of funny how that all happens. Foles fakes. screen, and that'll get busted up after about a 2-yard gain to Robinson, who caught the ball after he got hit by Jones. It'll be 2nd and long. Second and 7. Actually, he got 3 yards on it. Foles under center. Foles will sweep. Goes for Cordell Patterson, who will get back to the line. And that'll be 3rd down. The Vikings would really close in on Chicago here with a win of 4-5. Chicago will go 5-5. A really important game for the Bears, where the Packers are starting to get away from them in the race. Green Bay won. Detroit destroyed Washington. And Minnesota win. It would not be good for Chicago. So they would definitely want to have this win in the bag for at least some insurance. Here's Foles under the pocket. He'll throw it deep. And long at center, he had Robinson. And then Robinson got hammered by Harrison Smith, one of the best players on the Minnesota Viking roster. And Harrison Smith, who went back instead of lining up as a linebacker, which he can, or going back as a quarterback in the backfield, Harrison Smith and the Minnesota Vikings force a punt, and now they'll have a chance to go down the field to either tie it or take the lead. Here's the punt by Patrick O'Donnell. This one will bounce at the 22-yard line, and then they get backwards. The kick returner for Minnesota, not sure who, was able to evade it at the 22-yard line, was able to evade a tackle, but while he was evading it, he went backwards, and he also muffed it off of his chest, too, and got it back. So he went backwards. So instead of landing at the 22, he's going to land at – they're going to put him at the 15. So Minnesota gets the ball back, but they're in very awful field position. Football debate time. Debate me. Yeah, go ahead and debate me. I look forward to it.
Just so you know, next time you can submit a claim without mobile app. Thanks again for rushing over.
Yes. Yes, they should. They're almost there. They're almost there. They should get rid of the bye and put in an 8 seed. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 5 plays 4. Winner of 5-4, no matter who 5-4 is, plays winner of 1-8, no matter who 1-8 is. 1 game, no series. 2 plays 7, 2 versus 7 plays 3 versus 6, no matter who those winners are. The winners of those series goes on to the conference final, or the conference championship game, as it's called. And then the winner of those obviously go to the Super Bowl. No buys, no need for buys. I think at this point, most sports should just abolish buys. Oh. It is true, though, with divisions, though, how that would work, because division winners, because the NFC West, I think you still have to keep a division winner. I think you still have to have a team from every division, but I just think that there would be more depth, where it's like, oh, well, a bad team will only win like 5 games in the NFC East, and look at how that's going to be. Well, I think you still have to look at the fact that, yeah, they'll get to the playoffs, but there's going to be more teams that deserve it that'll get in, and they're just not going to win in the playoffs. Here's a handoff to Cook. Cook gets to the line after that 1st and 10 play. And it will be now 2nd down. So I show here on ESPN that Minnesota's records are not very stellar against Chicago. Also, something on football potentially, potentially what I heard, I don't know if this is completely true. I just heard it, that the Mississippi-Texas A&M game that was scheduled for this week, that got suspended as well. So if I'm not doing that, so if that got suspended, then there's no college football stream this week either. Frankly, I didn't even watch that much college football this week. The team that has a higher record versus division leader. I guess. I think the way they do divisions now, a lot of people hate it. I don't mind it. I don't mind that part. I just think there should be less buys and more seeds. Here's Cousins. Cousins gets out of pressure, and then he gets sacked behind the line. Khalil Mack, Danny Trevathan, and Smith all had hands on the sack, and it forces a Minnesota 3-and-out. The Vikings are going to have to punt again. I mean, that's fair, though. Higher record versus division leader. If the season ended right now, if you go by higher record versus division leader and not by record, I believe the Giants lead because I think – I'm not sure, actually. Giants are 3-2. And it's dropped at midfield. Bears will take it past the 50 if he can get there and run out at the 46. So Chicago will be at the Viking 46-yard line. Anthony Miller with a great run back. Yeah, it's funny. Back to the Giants with the divisional thing. It's funny. The Giants are 3-2. That's the really funny thing about how the Giants are. Giants are 3-2 in their division, and the Giants will not play and will only have one more game to play in their division, and they won't play it until the last game of the year at home against Dallas. Because they went 1-1 against Philadelphia. They went 2-0 against Washington. They're 0-1 right now against Dallas. So they'll play the Cowboys in Week 17. So that will be their final game of the year. And that would be the final NFC East battle of the year for the Giants. I'm sure there are like AFC games if the Giants are, if there are any other AFC games they have. I don't think they played Cleveland yet. Yes, that is true. So we're still waiting for commercial and Chicago to get the ball. Have the ball.
Vikings are forever intertwined with the Green Bay Packers. The Hall of Fame running back Paul Hornick passed away on Friday at the age of 84. 1956 Heisman Trophy winner will be drafted the #1 overall pick to the Packers.
don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because you're going to have TV schedule issues. Here's Foles, fakes the handoff. Foles steps in and throws the guy who's going to get the handoff, and he loses a ton of yards. Wilson with the push out screams, let's go, and he got the running back down. It'll be second down. Not just TV ratings, but you deal with like stadium stuff, and you also deal with the fact that there would be one more game for teams to play because they'd be playing 17 games, not 16. And then the most thing of all is the buys help teams rest and protect against unnecessary injuries. You get even more injuries, and you would have less stellar time of play. And then where would you put all of those games? So no, there's definitely going to have a bye. Maybe make less weeks. What you could do though is this: Cordell Patterson gets they tackle Patterson down around at the 50, and he loses yards. And then Patterson's going after a few Vikings and Bears. Still, Patterson was yelling at the Minnesota bench, probably a teammate of his, former teammate of his, that was yapping at him. What I would do though with the buys though, I think that would make it easier, is instead of having like the first buy at week 4 and the last one at like week 12, what you then do is you have you maybe don't have that many games on that day, but you have like 3 weeks of buys, like let's say week 7, week 8, and week 9, and a ton of teams have buys those days, so you don't start buys till week 6, but you're done with them by week 9, week 10. Thrown and almost picked off as it hit the ground. Foles was caught running, and he really had no one in the vicinity. So Minnesota forces a 3-and-out with 5:20 to go, and they'll get the ball. And it's really weird, too, because Chicago did not play that offensive drive well. Kind of reminiscent of last Monday with the Jets and the Patriots. A drive that really could have done some magical things, and he did nothing. So the punt will be at the Chicago 40. See how much they can pin back Minnesota. It steps up, and this is going to drop and be fair caught at the Viking 15. With 5:12 to go, Minnesota will get the ball again, but hopefully they can do more in this drive than they did the last time. And they should spread out the schedule, not almost all games on one day. No, I like a lot of games on one day. That I like. What I don't like is in buys, they'll have certain, like week 1 to week 4, you'll have a ton of games, and then the next few days you won't have as many because the games are sparse because of buys. Although I tried creating an NFL schedule, and you have no idea how mind-boggling it is and how it hurts your head to just create a schedule. It's those guys that do it. They're phenomenal. Oh, no. It wasn't a website. It wasn't a website. There is a website where you can make playoffs, but no, it was not a website of creating NFL schedules. I just know I don't know what it is. Certain teams, I know who certain teams play every year just by division. Like every 4 years, each NFC team plays an AFC division. Next year, the NFC East is playing the AFC West, and I know what teams they'll play road and home each year usually. And then like let's say a team in the NFC East, because that's my division, they'll play one team from the NFC North and one team from the NFC South or NFC West. That's the other thing. They play one team and they play one division every year in the AFC, two on the road, two at home. They do the same thing with an NFC division, and it changes every year. I think next year it'll be the NFC West. And then there's one team from the South, one team from the North. And they're just saying the East. It goes the other way, the other teams too. And one's at road, one's at home. And you have to understand, and then you try to make a schedule for every team. It's what I tried to do. And then put each one in. You have to make sure where the buys are and which one is going to play. And then when you make the other schedules of the teams, you have to make sure that they don't overlap and that the buys would make sense. It seems easy, but it's super hard. But there was no website. I just tried to do it for fun for myself. And it was very confusing, very difficult. Well, that was happening. An 8-yard pass thrown by Cousins while we were talking. Here's Kirk Cousins. Gives to Cook. Cook will be stopped for a 1-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 1. If you want, yeah, I can just kind of like look up like who your team or who a certain team played 4 years ago or who they played last year or whatever, and you're going to understand it. Again, it's an AFC division. You play 2 at home, 2 on the road. An NFC division, 2 at home, 2 on the road. 1 from the other division, 1 from the other division. 1 road, 1 home. And your own division, Dalvin Cook breaks away. Dalvin Cook pushed at the 46. Dalvin Cook took a huge run down the sideline and made a bunch of Bears miss, but a penalty is on the field, and it looks like it's coming back. Dalvin Cook. An offensive holding call on the tight end. And it would have been 1st down into Chicago territory with a gigantic Dalvin Cook run that they needed. But the tight end held Khalil Mack. And Khalil Mack probably would have tackled Cook if he didn't hold him. So he had to hold him. But it'll be 3rd and longer now. 3rd and 11 instead of 3rd and 1 because of the holding call, which changes everything. Here's Dalvin Cook, or here's Kirk Cousins throwing over the middle. Got someone at the 40, at the 50, going to go to the 40, still moving at the 28-yard line. 32-yard line, Jefferson. So they don't get the first, they don't get the run. It's funny, they don't get the, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, and let me commentate this first, then I'll go right on that because I was just thinking about that. Cousins just threw a slant to Jefferson, and it was funny. We talked about the Dalvin Cook run with the penalty, where the Dalvin Cook run went to the 46 before it was called off, but this one went farther to the 38. Cousins rolling out is going to throw down the field out of bounds to live another day. It'll be 2nd and 10. Yes. I thought about that, about the second year I made an NFL schedule. I thought about making an NHL schedule, and there are no buys, and it's not as hard to overlap, but it's a lot harder to think of who to play and when they play and road trips. Yeah, the NFL, for 2 years doing an NFL schedule each year, that nearly broke me. This would break me, doing an NHL schedule. Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't have to deal with buys, and there are a few things that are in an NFL schedule that aren't in an NHL schedule, but it's still very difficult. And again, and that one's easy to know too, obviously, as you know. You play every team in your conference twice, 1 at home, 1 on the road. You play 4 times against your division, 2 at home, 2 on the road. And you play either 2 at home or 2 on the road. It kind of differentiates against the division not in your conference. So for you, we're talking central teams. for me of talking Atlantic teams. Here is Cousins throwing over the middle, deflected down by Jefferson, and 3rd and 10. What should be noticed, though, if Minnesota doesn't turn the ball over, they don't get a first down conversion, but they don't lose a ton of yards, they would still be in a position to tie the game. What Minnesota can't do, though, they can't settle, but they also can't turn the ball over here. On 3rd down, 7 of 8, 128 yards, and 5 first downs and a touchdown. The Minnesota Vikings have been lethal tonight on 3rd down, and the Bears have not been able to get off the field. The corners are signaling, yelling at each other. Nothing's going on. Cousins will throw over the middle, and he'll have Jefferson, but this time he's tackled down about 4 yards short of the first down marker. So it's 4th down. We'll see what the Vikings do here. I was possibly thinking about going for it, but they're bringing in the kicker for Minnesota. Yeah. Dan Bailey, who made that 37-yarder last time to cut the lead in half. This would be to tie this Monday night game, and it's a longer one. It's a 43-yarder. Here's the kick for Bailey, and it's good. Dan Bailey right through the uprights. We're tied at 13 late in quarter 3. Go ahead. Ask me. In fact, Josh, if you want to, because I was trying to do it in the stream that other time where we did the guessing my teams, but it was kind of a shorter stream. If you want to pull up any NHL trivia questions and ask away. What was the final score of the last NHL tie ever? No go. Oh yeah, and I can affirm you, I'm not using Google. I'm not going to cheat. The final score of the last NHL tie ever now was in 2004. My guess is 2-2. 2-2 is my guess. Although I'm saying, yeah, my guess is 2-2, but I'm having a gut feeling I'm not absolutely incorrect. Okay, I'm gonna go with my gut feeling then. No score, 0-0. 6-6. Oh no, I had no idea. All right, so Josh, if you want, because I will not look up stuff. If you want, you can ask me NHL trivia if you want to look some up and ask me. I would love to do that. I can do it while we broadcast as well. Here's Bailey. He's going to squib this kick. It's going to roll at the 21. It'll be taken. Missing a tackle and then not getting to the 30. Thrown down at the Chicago 28-yard line. collapse along and broken ribs for Brees. So Drew Brees could come back, but it would be late in the regular season. Stiff arm and then a run back for Pierce in Chicago. And Eric Kendricks is down for the Vikings with 1:40 left in the third.
Injuries to their star players this year on this defense. Daniil Hunter went on IR to give you your Anthony Barr, his fellow linebacker, went on IR. They cannot afford to lose games. So important in the middle of that Minnesota defense.
2nd and 5 coming up for the Vikings, and they have to go commercial because Hendricks is just down there for that long.
Kendricks looks to be okay. Maybe just have the wind knocked out of him. Maybe the best compliment a player can play. Turnovers can't throw up. They want to get Eric Kendricks jerseys for him. Out of the Wildcat. Patterson for the Bears. Not feeling anybody there. Wilson clapping right in his face. Loss of one. Nice job for taking this play. Goes lateral, just like we talked about with the Bears. You're going to see Morris come up, make the ball go laterally, it's still outside. In the corner, sitting out there, just ready to come up and tackle. You see Gladney right there on the corner. That's how you play team defense.
All right, they're back. When was the first ever NHL expansion? 1967. Why was that so hard? 1967, and let me see if I know all the teams. I know there were 6 teams. I know as the Oakland Seals, as Minnesota stops the play on 3rd down and force 4th down. I know the Oakland Seals were one of the teams. I know the Philadelphia Flyers, I believe, were one of the teams. Not the Islanders, not Vancouver, not Buffalo. St. Louis, they were the first team in the expansion era team to ever ever go to the Stanley Cup final. They went against Montreal that very season. So Oakland, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Minnesota North Stars. Oi. Pittsburgh, Oakland, Minnesota, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. End of the 3rd quarter. You're going to have to remind me the last team I'm not saying. It's not Vancouver. It's not Buffalo. It's not the New York Islanders. It's not Quebec, Edmonton. I don't think it's Atlanta. Yeah, it's not Atlanta Flames. Yeah, you're going to have to let me know what that team is because for some reason I'm blanking on the final team. You don't know. Okay. LA Kings. It was the LA Kings. I forgot that they were the 67 expansion because they had a pretty horrid start. And Washington was in the 2nd expansion. That's what it was, the Kings. They're the Oakland Seals, the LA Kings, the Blues, the Flyers, the Penguins, and the North Stars. How old are the old Jets related to the new Jets? From the NHL or the AHL? I have to do some math. The math part's going to be the part that's going to be the worst for me, not the NHL part. This punt will land at the 40 and then roll back to the 38, 37. It'll be at the 37 of Minnesota. Minnesota will get the ball with 14:49 left. Game tied at 13. Also, Kirk Cousins has never won a game on Monday Night Football. The only guys that are closer to him as 0-9, not 0-6, are Archie Manning and Joe Montana. There's some great quarterbacks. Well, no, it is math. It's 31 years, I believe. 31 years between them. Oh, how are the old Jets related to the new Jets? Oh. I read it wrong. Dalvin Cook is now down clutching his knee after an 8-yard gain. They're related because the old Jets became the Arizona Coyotes after the old Jets left Winnipeg because of stadium issues and not getting enough money into their team and needing to sell their team because they were getting bankrupt. They had to file for bankruptcy, I believe, and also because the Canadian dollar was down. I don't. They're not the same team, I guess. I don't know what word you want. They're not. You have to explain to me what exactly you're asking because I'm a bit confused. Because I know what they are. I know they're the old thrash. Oh, nothing. Oh. Okay. Still waiting, and we'll get back to this because the problem was it was their own drive, but the Vikings got stalled on a commercial again because they're dealing with more injury concerns this time with running back. Oh! Hey, I didn't realize, actually. I might actually be streaming on Wednesday. See, yeah, you're right, old New Jets. I might be streaming on Wednesday. I had no idea because I didn't know anything. The NBA draft is this Wednesday, so I will be streaming that on Wednesday too if you want to watch that. I had no idea that was this Wednesday, so I will definitely be streaming the NBA draft. I'll try to show some of it on the TV, but you know the whole deal with that. So if you want to watch that, I mean, you don't know anything about the prospects. I also don't know anything about the prospects, so we can learn and watch together. Cook up the middle for a few yards. He wasn't injured. First down at midfield. Yeah. We'll watch it. We'll stream. Fun. It'll be cool. Hopefully my Knicks can do well. And Blazers. I like Portland Trail Blazers, but I don't really know anything. I know LaMelo Ball. That's it. I know him. I know no one else. 2nd and 10 forced by the linebacking core in coverage. And that was an incompletion that was thrown down by Cousins. And Kirk Cousins, most of his long incompletions have been, yes, there have been some drops and some deflections, but a lot of them have been just running. Oh, really? Nice. They're my second favorite team as well. Hey, I didn't know that we had that in common. And also, of course, that big deal that you brought up on the Discord today, that Phoenix to get Chris Paul and a good prospect, Abel Nader. Cook up the middle will get more yards from the first down as well. And also, I'll say, even though they're in the same division as my favorite team, I've never disliked Toronto. I have really liked Toronto a lot more. So I've never had a problem with them. And plus, they had a playoff series against one of the teams I don't like, Boston. So now the only teams I really hate from that division are Brooklyn and Boston. I'm okay with Philly because I have a bunch of Sixer fan friends. As Cook spins out of one and gets some yards. I'm okay with Philly because my dad's a Sixers fan. And I have friends that are Sixers fans, and Toronto never bothered me. But I don't like the Nets, and a lot of my friends don't like the Nets. And obviously Boston. A holding call coming up against the Vikings after that Cook run against Tyler Conklin. And another penalty. And Minnesota cannot afford to have all of these offensive penalties. 12:59 to go. Game tied at 13. Ball has just been into Chicago territory at the Bear 48. Cousins steps out of there, throws over the middle as Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph escapes a tackle. Rudolph pushing Bears past the first down marker to the 26-yard line. What a play by Kyle Rudolph, who had that penalty against him for holding on Khalil Mack on that one drive. Kyle Rudolph pushes the Chicago defense into their own territory, and they're 6 yards outside of the red zone. Just like that. Yeah, although I've told you I don't like Boston, but I hate Indiana so much more. Pass to the sideline, and he got Jefferson. Jefferson has been big time for the Vikings for a first down. But in my opinion, yeah, I don't like Boston, but I like Indiana a lot less. A lot less. I've always hated and disliked the Pacers. And that's just my opinion. That's just on me. I always have. But yeah, I don't like Boston. Yes, Justin Jefferson, rookie receiver with 8 receptions, 135 yards. You look at him for Offensive Rookie of the Year. As that's a handoff over to Cook. Cook made a few moves. Cook will try to get to the 5. They'll be at the 6. Second down. Vikings have to get to the Bear 2. As we said, the Vikings have never led in this game. Fakes it to Cook, losing yards, then he'll get some yards back, and it'll be third down. 10:40 to go. Now the clock is the issue here because if they don't get the third down, then they would have to go for the field goal again. Again, as that was there. Yes, they are. They are. For me, it's Rangers. It's Rangers, Eagles, Pacers, Braves. Cousins in the shotgun. Kirk Cousins stepping up, throws to the end zone, touchdown! Minnesota leads. A touchdown for Adam Thielen. They lead by 6. Oh, it was blocked. And okay. All right. Let me stop the horn. All right. All right. We got to explain what just happened here. I don't know if you just saw it. Let me explain what just happened here as the horn was going. Bailey got the extra point, shaking his head. Bailey got the extra point ready to make it a 7-point lead because it was a 6-point lead. The snap was fumbled. And then Colquitt tried to put it down for the kicker. It rolled on him. And by the chance Bailey was going to go kick it, Will Fuller went down to try to block it. So Bailey shook his head. Colquitt went down for a 2-point conversion pass because the whole play was just blown apart. And then he got hit by a linebacker who was coming to block as well. And the ball just fluttered to the ground. So Minnesota's up by 6, not 7, because the long snapper, holder, kicker had no communication. It was weird. Though that doesn't fall on. I hate to do it because an NFL long snapper actually went to my high school. The long snapper doesn't really make that many mistakes, but that wasn't the holder's fault. That wasn't the kicker's fault. That was straight up the long snappers. As this is taken back by Patterson, 20-35. And he'll be down at the 35. Minnesota leads by 6 with 10 minutes to go in the football game. As they show this drive, that was the Dalvin Cook run. First, we started with the Dalvin Cook run. That was was blown dead because of a penalty. They went to Jefferson. The big Rudolph catch they just show there, and then the catch by Adam Thielen. And for his second touchdown of the night. Here's Foles. Foles steps in the pocket, throws over the middle, has Miller. Miller takes a hit from Kendricks, and it'll be second down. Chicago badly needs this win in a game where they've only scored 13 points. Foles under center. Hands it off to Pierce, who gets stuffed. Sent them back to the Chicago 41. Minnesota is content to hold this clock. And it's funny, while all this action has been going down, even though it's been a low-scoring game, these teams have held the ball. They've used the ball. There haven't been too much controversies, not too many penalties. So neither team has used a timeout yet. Both have 3 timeouts in their pockets. And that was a big hit by third-year man, 2018 undrafted free agent, Hama Kafaka. I think that was his name. Must have probably just butchered it. But here's Foles. He got hit, and the ball got deflected. Minnesota's going to pick it up. Is that a fumble or an incompletion? Minnesota's saying that's a fumble. We got to see if that was an incomplete pass, as the Chicago offensive lineman is down. They're calling this on the field an incompletion. That's what I initially thought it was. Regardless, it will be 4th down. Well, not 4th down. Regardless, it will not be anything Good for Chicago.
And Wilson's just in the way. I don't understand these tight formations because it's really hard to see man or zone.
Oh yeah, that's a clear deflection up there. Foles goes to the bench after getting hit high as well, and then the clock will stop. They'll go punt. Now the clock will move up again, and it'll be fair called at the Viking 10. So this will be a good chance for the defense to show up and get their offense the ball again. They're winding down in the fourth quarter. Minnesota 19, Chicago 13. Vikings will have the ball at their 10-yard line. Yeah, it's a clear incompletion. It's just batted it down on the line. So we'll see what happens with Minnesota when they get this ball back. I do. Remember Game 6? Or I think it was Game 6. It was either Game 5 or Game 6 in like 2014 between Portland and Houston. Oh, wow. That's unbelievable. Remember Game 5 or Game 6 for Portland against Houston, and Houston was up 2. I think it was Game 5. And Houston was up 2, and they were going to go back home. And Lillard got the ball, and he shot a 3 to eliminate Houston from the playoffs. That was unbelievable. I don't know if you remember. It wasn't a great win, but Oklahoma City with Kevin Durant played his first Christmas game like about 6-7 years ago. And it was Game 6, I think. Or maybe Game 5. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. But the Thunder with Kevin Durant, Westbrook, when they were in Oklahoma City, they played in Christmas against the Knicks, I think like 2013, 2014. I was at that game. I was also at the first game. I was at Anthony Davis's first game in Madison Square Garden as well. Yeah, that was awesome. But when they were the New Orleans Hornets, Anthony Davis's rookie year in New Orleans, I saw him at the Garden. I saw that game. I've seen the Knicks play a bunch of teams and also the Thunder, as I said, from and also last year, I think it was last season, the Knicks played the Pelicans on a Friday night on ESPN, and I was at that game as well. I've been to a bunch of Knicks games. And then that was Cook with the handoff, who just got pushed off of a lineman, and Jackson tackled him as they're moving the ball. Yeah, I haven't gone to any other NBA stadiums, not even in Philadelphia. I never saw a Sixers game. I've been in the stadium, but not a Sixers game, or not in Barclays, but I've been in Madison Square Garden. That's it. 3rd and 3. Cousins and the Vikings have to get to the 21. Cousins gets out of there. Could run, does not. Throws over to Cook. Cook will get a few yards. He'll step out of bounds and stop the clock with 7:38 to go, but he will get the first down. Actually, I guess as he's pushed out, they let the clock go. So it continues to move. Here's Cousins under center. Hands off to Cook. Cook is going to lose yards, and I think this would be a very opportune time for Chicago to call timeout. They have not, and they still have all three remaining. We have less than 7 minutes remaining in this game, but is there a Bear down on the field? There might have been to stop the clock on an injury. I've never been to any Portland Trailblazer games. I know you're very close to them. I would love to, though. I would absolutely love to. I really like the Trailblazers. I love Lillard. Damian's a great player. Seems like a good guy, too. I'd love to go to that atmosphere is awesome, too. Here's Cousins, steps out of there. Cousins escapes the sack. Cousins runs, and he'll be brought down at the Chicago 41, but there's a penalty flag coming up with 6:20 left in the fourth. And it looks like it'll be coming up against the Vikings. Another penalty against the offense. Because a lot of these late penalties have been coming up against the Vikings offensive line. This which will stop the clock and will move the play back against Dakota Dozier. A holding call. Yeah, never been to that arena either. For either hockey or basketball. Cousins slant over the middle, deflected. The Bears were just looking over because they thought that the penalty flag was going to be thrown over on the play. They really thought it was going to be thrown over. They even had their hands up like, no. But there was no penalty. It was just a clean play by Jackson. A little early, but still I agree the call, no call. Jalen Johnson on Jefferson. Now remember, they have legitimately, they can come here and win this game, take the lead. I wouldn't mind. Dalvin Cook up the middle of the 30. I wouldn't mind to see the Leafs. I don't know. I think it'd be a kind of interesting atmosphere. It's not the greatest arena in the world, but I'd love to go to the LCA, the Pizza Box. That's somewhere I'd really like to go. And as much as you don't like the Bruins, really, and whatever, I would kind of like to go to TD Garden for a Bruins game. But definitely, of course, Rogers, the Canucks. There's a bunch of arenas. Montreal, there's a bunch of arenas I'd love to go to see some NHL games. Vikings will punt with 5:10 left in the fourth. It'll be taken back past the 22. It's given away, trying to get to the 30. Gets to the 40. Gets to the 45. Brought down at the 48. The 48 of Minnesota, we should say, not of Chicago. So Anthony Miller takes a nice return into Viking territory, and the Chicago Bears will set up their offense, trying to have a drive to win the game. With an extra point would win it, not tie it, due to the fact, as we said, that the botched snap and hold. New York Rangers. Holes in the shotgun. He's in the shotgun at the 50, but it's at the 46, the line of scrimmage. Patterson leaps forward past his former teammates and grabs a first down for the Bears. All right. Toronto Maple Leafs. Is it Toronto Maple Leafs? Because I'm thinking, because I know you like Vancouver. Maybe Seattle. Oh, Seattle. Yeah. Seattle, because you're Vancouver. Yep. It's Seattle, right? Yeah. I don't mind Seattle, but I have my radio co-host, obnoxious friend who likes the Oilers, the Seattle Kraken, and the Rangers. So I have some motive and incentive to not like Seattle that much. And if you pay attention to the Discord, you should be aware of what I'm talking about. 2nd and 7 after a 3-yard gain with 3:54 left in the fourth. And again, Chicago still has their 3 timeouts. Yes. Yeah, my friend Tommy. You didn't have to say Tommy Navarro. I know there are 2 Tommies, but it's funny. Most of us don't really call that kid Thomas Tartar Tommy that much. Sometimes we do. I normally call the other Tommy that much, kind of because I know him more anyway. I know both as a 1-yard gain for Patterson would be 3rd down. I know both well. I'm good friends with them well. I hang out with them when they're on campus, but I just know Tommy Navarro a little bit more. He was my roommate last year, and we talk like all the time. Where I don't talk to Tommy Tartar as much. I'll talk to him maybe a few times a week or maybe 1 time a week. But I talk to Tommy Navarro like every day. Like he's a really, really good friend. Like Tartar's a good friend of mine. Tommy's like more like a best friend. I don't know. I'm not trying to be cultistic or something. Behind the line, drop down. Minnesota Vikings on the field and on the bench. Take to Gladney, scream, let's go. And they got a big yardage drop for Chicago here, which it was a loss of a few yards. They can probably go for the field goal here, but it wouldn't make sense to go for a touchdown. Yeah, he is, though. We joke about that, being annoying, being obnoxious. The Bears are going to go for a 4th down. We'll see if they're just trying to draw because the 2-minute warning is coming up in 10 seconds. They snap it here on 4th down. Foles gets out of it. Foles will throw down the field. Almost had Miller. He dropped it. And the Vikings will take over 4 seconds before the 2-minute warning. Foles dropped a dime for Anthony Miller. They would have had a diving catch. He might have even got up and scored a touchdown. That would have put the Bears at probably at the 2, at the 1. They might have actually dove into the end zone. Maybe not there, but they would have been an instant red zone opportunity, and he drops it, and the Vikings will take over on 4th down, as Miller can't believe it. Now, Chicago has all 3 timeouts, as do Minnesota, so the game's not over. Also, Chicago will get the 2-minute warning, so they don't have to use all 3 of their timeouts if they can stop Minnesota here. Cousins, hand off to Cook. Cook will take the hit at the 40, and there goes the 2-minute warning. It's 2nd down, so after the 2-minute warning, we'll see what happens. 2nd down coming for the Vikings in their territory. We'll see. We shall see, because the Bears still have something to say about that. So we are back.
And this is exactly how the Bears season has gone all along. Even when they were 5-1, same issues. Still the defense working hard for them.
Here for this game. Cousins rolling. Has Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph. Easy walk past the first down. Past the 50. Past the 35. To the 40. And 2nd and 6 becomes a first down into Chicago territory. And now, with the clock moving, the Bears are going to have to use their timeouts, which they do. Oh, sorry. Which they do. The first timeout with the minute 50. So they'll have 2 left to use. So now the Bears have to find a way to stop this Minnesota offensive attack. Didn't think I was going to be going to say that. Really didn't. I mean, they haven't been great, but like a lot of people just didn't expect this Minnesota offense to shock like they have. 25-36 is Kirk Cousins. 2 touchdown passes, both to Adam Thielen, and an interception. 292 yards, and 7 of those yards that he threw passes for were completed to 7 different receivers. Here's Cousins, handoff to Cook. Cook looks, spins, and then he'll get a yard and be taken down by Nichols. And it'll be 2nd down and minute 45 left, and Chicago uses their 2nd timeout. So I didn't know, but next Monday night will be Tampa and the LA Rams. So get ready for that. I believe I have the Rams hat here. I don't remember. I do. So I don't have to get any hats from home for because I kept them both here for the Monday night game, which is cool and good and helpful for me. Cousins under center, handoff to Cook. Cook up the middle, and he gets rushed by the Chicago defense, which forces 3rd down, and there goes the final timeout by Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bear coaching staff.
Touchdown run. That's why you got to walk down on that big punt. I'm not making that any scoreboard. I was looking for the sideline and the first down marker. You couldn't see past your shoulder pad. That's what I saw Billy Casey. I saw Bears are out of timeouts.
No timeouts for Chicago. Bears trail by 6. They just stopped the clock. So if they do stop it here. Now, Minnesota, actually, if they get positive yards here, if they don't go for the first down, they would have several options. Chicago, though, the time would still move. It's still Minnesota here would call a timeout. The clock was stopped anyway. Minnesota has a lot of different options they can use here. If it's a first down, the game should be over. No first down, and they got positive yards, they could potentially kick a field goal to really just ice the game. They could go for it on 4th down. If they make it, obviously it would be over. If they don't make it, it would still bleed a lot of clock, and they would still have decent position. But Minnesota, even though they really want to get this first down, still have a lot of the momentum and still have so many options that they can do, even though, again, they give the ball. They have a lot more options right now and a lot more opportunities than Chicago does. Handoff to Cook. Cook will be stopped at the line of scrimmage, and it will force 4th down. Now Minnesota, again, is going to have this option. Do you go for the field goal? Do you go for the conversion to win this game? you go for the punt. If you go for the punt, you can take a lot of time off the clock. I don't see the punt team. What they may do is make this clock go down all the way and then call timeout. Because Chicago has no more timeouts to go. 4th and 5, final minute of play. They've got to snap the ball soon or call a timeout, and I believe that's what they're going to do. And Minnesota calls a timeout now with 50 seconds remaining in the football game. So now they can mull over what they want to do. They actually did not call a timeout. They took the delay of game penalty, which now will tell me that they're definitely not going. Cousins is on the bench. I'm not sure. They're not going for the field goal. They'll strictly go here for the punt. Colquitt. 52, 2 seconds get pushed up back on the clock. So he'll give the ball to Chicago. Chicago will not have much time, but they will have time. Again, looking at the scoreboard, they can win the game here. They have not played well. They can still come and win this game. Clock is stopped, so they can't mull any time left off the clock. But we'll see how this punt goes. I don't expect a touchback. I would think that he would try to make it roll or at least bounce it so it would be returnable. This punt will bounce to the end zone, but it took a lot of time off of the snap. So 52 becomes 44. So now the Bears and Nick Foles will have 44 seconds to engineer a drive to tie the game and potentially win it with an extra point.
After he caught that touchdown, he got him. He said, "That's why you pay me, right?" And then DeAndre Hopkins is on the other side. I said, "No, I don't think so tonight." 44 ticks left. No timeouts. Chicago for their own 20.
Foles in the shotgun. Low snap. Foles still out of there. Foles pressured. Foles evading a sack. He's got to get it loose. It's tipped, and the ball is loose, but it's an incompletion when he spent 10 seconds trying to wrestle the ball loose to an incompletion, and now he's down, and he's got hit a lot, holding that, and Bray's getting his helmet on, so this rookie Bray backup is going to have to play the next 34 seconds to try to win the game for the Bears. So actually some more of this pressure that is handed over. Now let's look at the Vikings. They're just trying to will their way to this win. They are doing everything it can. As now Foles is probably not going to play for the rest of this drive and probably the rest of the game. And they still have not put in Bray officially. Still looking at Foles, who is down.
Everything they've had to deal with here in Chicago this season, trying to figure things out. The Bears need that bye next week.
So they go to commercial, I guess. Now we'll wait some more on this never-ending game.
NFL Primetime is back exclusively on ESPN Plus, and Boomer is bringing you nicknames like Khalil Mack, the Big Mac Attack, and Patrick Mahomes, the hardest
Yes.
Back in Chicago, these are live pictures. Nick Foles about to be carted off the field.
So here we go. Oh, this is pretty bad. Huge game for both teams. Nick Foles right now is on the cart. This isn't going to look good. So a late game like this is as late as you can get. He will get injured. He will get carted off. So I believe the announcer said they have a bye next week, which this is why, Josh, you have byes because of these situations. Especially because this game has been full of animosity, but a bunch of the Vikings tapped him on the shoulder and said, hey, it's good. And Trubisky's also injured. He's out with a shoulder injury. So if he's good for the week after, if Foles isn't injured, then Trubisky would be the next guy. But Todd Bray has only snapped the ball 4 times in the NFL. Well, he's going to have a chance to win the football game here. Not in great position, but he'll have the opportunity. Bray throws over the middle, and it'll be down at the 30. Going to get up and get close to the 40. They got to get to the line. They got to get quickly. Bray will sprint the ball. At this point, they've got to clock it because they're not going to have too many chances to get the ball to the end zone. They clock it with 18 ticks to go. You may have about 2 plays. This is probably for Tyler Bray. This is his 6th season in the NFL, but he's only been on the field. Oh, again with that. I apologize. He's only been on the field 4 times. Probably a sideline out to just get more yards so they can heave the ball. They keep on talking about how it's like the Arizona Cardinals Buffalo Bill epic on Sunday, but I really don't think it's that way. This is thrown incomplete, and the Vikings will pick it up, but again, this is an incomplete pass, not a fumble, as Bray was rushed and hit. 6 seconds come off the clock, so now there are 12 seconds left in the game, 2nd and 10. 3rd and 10. It have to kind of be a miracle for a guy that hasn't played much. Tyler Bray steps up. He's going to launch it high, and he was really going for the wrong receiver because there was another one in the flat. 8 seconds left. It's 4th down. This will be Bray's got to get the 1st down here. We'll see if they go for the quick 1st down clock and then the Hail Mary to win the game. Or if they go now, of course, not win the game completely, and they've got an extra point, get an extra point. That is not automatic at all. But if they don't get the 1st down, it's over anyway. Bray stepping up, throwing over the middle, incomplete. I don't know where he was launching that ball. There are no penalty flags on the field. So Minnesota is just going to have one more kneel down with 3 seconds left in the 4th, and they will go to 4-5, and the Chicago Bears will go to even 500 and continue this fall. So to make it official, here comes Kirk Cousins for the final kneel down of the game. And coming off the Minnesota bench and more of these claps, and Minnesota did not start well in this season, but they're going to go to 4-5 here, and it doesn't look like they'll catch Green Bay in the division. It doesn't look like anyone will catch Green Bay in the division. They are threats to Chicago and Detroit now. There is the knee. There is the win. Minnesota goes to 4-5. Chicago drops to 5-5. A 19-13 comeback win for the Minnesota Vikings, and the first time Kirk Cousins has won a Monday night game. They launch ahead of Detroit to third place in the NFC North despite the Lions' huge win against Washington, and have the best division record of any of the teams in the North and are just slightly behind Chicago with this win. All right, I will see you on Wednesday for the NBA draft, then Thursday, of course, for Seattle and Arizona, and might see you for some MLS play-ins on Friday. Happy hockey, everybody. Good night, and thanks for joining me.